सक्सेस की सबसे खास बात यह है कि ये मेहनत करने वालों पे फिदा हो जाती है। नमस्कार, वेलकम टू पीटी पॉइंटर्स एंड इन दिस वीडियो वी आर गोइंग टू कवर मेजर हेडलाइंस ऑफ द हिंदू, इंडियन एक्सप्रेस, प्रेस इंफॉर्मेशन ब्यूरो एंड न्यूज ऑन एयर। So without wasting any time, let's start today's discussion. And our first headline is related to governors. And ये न्यूज में इसलिए है क्योंकि तमिलनाडु's governor decision to withhold assent to pending bills has raised fresh legal questions on the powers of the governors. And in this context, recently Supreme Court ने कहा है कि governor cannot withhold repassed bills. Now let's know more about the powers of the governor. So friends, according to Article 200 of the Constitution, when a bill passed by a state legislature and presented to the governors, they have four alternatives, and these are: they may give assent to the bill, may withhold assent to the bill, or may return the bill for reconsideration of the state legislature, or may reserve the bill for consideration of the president. Now recently, second India-Australia 2+2 dialogue was held in New Delhi, and two countries exchanged views on deepening multifaceted India-Australia ties in several areas, and these include defense and security, trade and investment, critical minerals, energy, climate change, science and technology, space, education, and people-to-people linkages. Regional and global issues were also discussed. And do you know, friends, India has 2+2 ministerial dialogues with only handful of countries including US, Japan and Russia. An inaugural India-Australia 2+2 ministerial dialogue was held in 2021. Our next headline is related to National Pharmacy Commission Bill 2023, and it is in the news because Ministry of Health and Family Welfare proposes to finalize the National Pharmacy Commission Bill 2023 for setting up the National Pharmacy Commission and repealing the Pharmacy Act 1948. The bill aims to improve access to affordable and high-quality pharmacy education and ensure the availability of pharmacy professionals nationwide. The bill also encourages professionals to integrate the latest research into their work, contribute to research, and uphold high ethical standards. Our next headline is related to China-Myanmar Economic Corridor, which is the newest of the 6 land corridors under Belt and Road Initiative, and it has assumed prominence in place of Bangladesh-China-India-Myanmar Corridor, which has largely been stalled. एंड चाइना म्यांमार इकोनॉमिक कॉरिडोर इसलिए न्यूज में है क्योंकि चाइना इंटरेस्टेड है इसको एक्सटेंड करने में टुवर्ड्स श्रीलंका. एंड डू यू नो फ्रेंड्स, इंडिया एंड भूटान are the only countries in South Asia that have stayed out of the Belt and Road Initiative and China's more recent Global Development Initiative. Our next headline is related to Langlands Program, which was started in 1967, and it is an attempt to find connections between two far-flung areas of mathematics, and these are number theory and harmonic analysis. Number theory is an arithmetic study of numbers and relationship between them, and harmonic analysis is interested in the study of periodic phenomena. Harmonic analysts deal with mathematical objects more continuous in nature like waves. Our next headline is related to anticipatory bail, and ये न्यूज में अभी इसलिए है क्योंकि recently Supreme Court ruled that a session court or high court in a state can grant limited anticipatory bail to an accused though the FIR is registered outside their jurisdiction. Now, what is anticipatory bail? So friends, this is a direct order of sessions or high court to provide pre-arrest bail to an accused of a crime, and when the person has an apprehension of being arrested, the person can apply for anticipatory bail. And Section 438 of the Code of Criminal Procedure enables the accused to approach a sessions court or high court seeking a direction to release him on bail in case he is arrested on a non-bailable offense. Our next headline is related to Emissions Gap Report 2023, जिसको recently release किया गया है United Nations Environment Program के द्वारा. It is launched annually In advance of annual climate negotiations, it tracks the gap between where global emissions are heading with current country commitment and where they ought to be to limit warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. And recent report found that world is heading for a temperature rise far above the Paris Agreement goals unless countries deliver more than they have promised. And it also found that there has been progress since the Paris Agreement was signed in 2015 and greenhouse gas emissions in 2030 based on policies in place were projected to increase by 16% at the time of agreement's adoption, and today the projected increase is 3%. However, predicted 2030 greenhouse gas emissions still must fall by 28% for the Paris Agreement 2 degrees Celsius pathway and 42% for the 1.5 degrees Celsius pathway. Next headline is related to यूनाइटेड सर्विस इंस्टीट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया, जो कि भारत का ओल्डेस्ट थिंक टैंक है एंड इसको स्टैब्लिश किया गया था 1870 में फॉर रिसर्च एंड डिबेट ऑन नेशनल सिक्योरिटी एंड मिलिट्री अफेयर्स। एंड ये न्यूज में इसलिए है क्योंकि यूनाइटेड सर्विस इंस्टीट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया will organize annual UN Forum 2023, and do you know friends, the forum on international humanitarian law and peacekeeping is being organized in collaboration with the International Committee of the Red Cross and Center for UN Peacekeeping Operations. Our next headline is related to Film Bazaar, जिसका inauguration recently हो चुका है and इसकी खास बात क्या है? It is the largest South Asian film market and इसको ऑर्गेनाइज किया जाता है नेशनल फिल्म डेवलपमेंट कॉर्पोरेशन के द्वारा and it connects local filmmakers to the global producers and distributors. Our next and last headline is related to ASEAN-India Media Exchange Program, which involves visits by Indian journalists to ASEAN countries and reciprocal visits by ASEAN journalists to India. It fosters a deeper understanding of the socio-economic and cultural ethos between ASEAN and India among the journalists from both regions. So with this, let's conclude our today's discussion. Thanks for listening, and for regular updates, you can follow us on various social media platforms.